What's up, guys? Welcome back to Weekly Weird News.
So this current U.S. presidential election is easily the most ridiculous of either of our lifetimes, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
We've seen some shit. But what if I told you that one very popular candidate for the highest office in the land might actually be a notorious serial killer? I guess you might not be that surprised since, again, this election is utterly ridiculous, but the question remains, is Senator Ted Cruz of Texas the Zodiac Killer?
Seems feasible to me. Now, if you aren't aware, the Zodiac Killer was responsible for at least 5 murders, probably many more, in and around the San Francisco Bay Area in the late 1960s, before all those housing prices shot through the roof. During his killing spree, he taunted the police and the media through several phone calls and letters, often using a coded alphabet that still hasn't been cracked. Even now, all these years later, the murders remain unsolved and the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery.
Or does it?
Huh?
A recent poll of Florida voters by Public Policy Polling featured the question, do you think Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer or not? And the results show that 10% of Florida voters do believe that he definitely is.
Yeah.
With another 28% being unsure.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
That's over a third of Florida voters being at least open to the idea of Senator Ted Cruz being guilty of the gruesome Zodiac murders that terrorized Northern California all those decades ago.
Yeah, now 2 of the Zodiac's known victims actually managed to survive their attacks and provided law enforcement sketch artists with a description of their attacker, and, well, it's impossible to deny that there's an uncanny resemblance between Ted Cruz and the Zodiac Killer when you ignore the glasses that Cruz used to disguise himself while he committed multiple murders. All to his age.
Now,
I've been collapsing to the floor way too frequently recently.
Now, obviously, this information is very troubling.
Yeah.
Especially with so many Americans aware of the situation and unable to do anything about it aside from repeatedly Googling, is Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer, and turning it into a Google search term trend. But guys, let's all just calm down for a second here, because after doing our own independent research here at the ETC News Lab, we've uncovered evidence that Ted Cruz may not actually be the Zodiac Killer.
No.
I know it sounds crazy, but hear us out.
Yeah.
So according to our information, it turns out that according to Ted Cruz's birth certificate, which might be fake,
Yeah.
he's actually only 45 years old despite the appearance of his face and body.
Yeah.
And was therefore not yet born when the Zodiac murders occurred.
I mean, put a side by side, him and what's his name? Jared Leto. The man is not actually 45. I'm a birther for him just based on his age. Screw the Canada thing.
He's 45 in Ted Cruz years.
Yeah. He was born on a leap year. Anyways, so how did this whole Ted Cruz Zodiac Killer thing start? So the earliest known reference to Ted Cruz being the Zodiac is a tweet from March 2013, posted by a user named Red Pill America during that year's Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC. It says, #CPAC alert, Ted Cruz is speaking. His speech is titled, "This is the Zodiac Speaking." Over a year later, in November 2014, the next known reference came from Twitter user @Flash2844, who tweeted, Ted Cruz's chilling deathbed confession. I am the Zodiac Killer. #Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer.
But the meme really took off this past December when the Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer Facebook page was launched, giving the meme a home on the internet and inspiring internet users to spread it like wildfire.
Yeah.
The page includes posts like, what's your guys' favorite movie? Mine is Zodiac, the movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal. I like it because it is about me, Ted Cruz. And, you know, sometimes my buddies will ask me, hey, old Ted, you have any good stories from the war like we do? And I say, no, I'm Canadian. But let me tell you about the Zodiac murders that I, Ted Cruz, committed, for sure, in the late 1960s.
So stupid. Anyways, other stuff that's appeared on social media since then include a face swap video of Ted Cruz wearing the Zodiac Killer's face. It's just like the
art composite sketch.
A Chrome extension that replaces Ted Cruz with Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer.
I have this one installed. It's great. It makes the news fun.
And the web URL zodiackiller.com now redirects to Ted Cruz's campaign website. A Ted Cruz was the Zodiac Killer t-shirt that raises funds for abortion clinics in Texas that Elliot bought and is on its way.
It's back ordered. Apparently they sold
too much?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
no.
raised like $70,000. Amazing.
Anyways, and there's also a ton of people on Twitter pointing out that at this point, Ted Cruz still hasn't denied that he is the Zodiac Killer. So that's obviously very suspicious.
I mean, if you're not the Zodiac Killer, just say
Why
you're
wouldn't
not.
you just say it?
Yeah. What are you hiding?
I think one of the main goals I read was like, if we get this big enough, then Donald Trump will ask. He'll start questioning it.
Oh,
like,
that'd be great.
Like, well, I mean, he's not saying he's not the killer, so, I mean, why wouldn't you just say no?
It's a pretty decent Trump bait.
Yeah.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah.
But speaking of people who aren't who they say they are, our next story follows in the footsteps of our stories from previous weeks, which involved a teenager in Florida posing as a medical doctor and then another teenager in Ohio posing as a state senator, both successfully.
Yeah.
This time things come full circle with a grown man caught pretending to be a high school student.
Wow. So Asher Potts was the perfect high school senior. He'd spent 4 years at Harrisburg High School and had a 4.16 GPA, was involved in several extracurricular activities like ROTC, and had received an award from a local state representative. He was considered quite charming. He seemed well on his way to a happy and productive life.
The only problem was that Asher Potts was actually Artur Samarin, a 23-year-old man from Ukraine whose original visa expired, leading him to pose as a teenager and somehow get adopted by a local family.
Yeah.
Along the way, he also managed to get a fake social security number and driver's license as well. He also managed to have sex with a fellow high school student,
Whoa.
except that fellow high school student was actually high school age, 15 to be exact. And since Samarin was 22 at the time it happened, that's statutory rape, and he's in trouble.
Yeah. Which, obviously, that's pretty gross, but if Samarin is to be believed, his story's pretty sad, actually. I mean, he says his family in the Ukraine was extremely poor. They managed to chip in enough money together to send him to the US to make a better life for himself, which he did legally until his visa expired.
Details of how exactly he managed to get himself adopted by an American family are very unclear, but according to Samarin, they were well aware of his true identity and situation and used it as leverage to get him to do whatever they asked of him, including cooking, cleaning, and doing his stepmother's college homework in exchange for not having him sent back to war-torn Ukraine.
This plays out like a real shitty drama movie on like Lifetime or something.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a Lifetime movie next week.
The whole thing is just sad. In an interview with the local ABC 27 News, Samarin readily admitted his guilt and said, "I'm considering myself American now. American, it's not your place of birth. It's something that goes on inside of your soul. It is the way you feel. It is the liberties and justice that you earn, and I love it." Well spoken.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, aside from the rape thing.
Aside from the whole rape thing, I mean, what we have here is an illegal immigrant who, by all accounts, was just trying to be successful and kind of managed to do that.
Yeah.
But,
the American dream of having sex with a high school student.
I mean, yeah, we all saw American Pie.
Yeah. He fucked a pie.
He fucked a pie. I bet this kid fucked a pie too. He's like, I need to see what all this fuss is about. With these movies that we get 10 years late in the Ukraine. And let's move on to the craziest real news headlines that real news websites published this past week. Starting with, Google searches for how to move to Canada spike after Super Tuesday results.
There's actually, I just saw an article recently that was, if you want to move to Canada, here is how you do it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not as easy. I've definitely talked
It's very hard to immigrate to any country.
Yeah, but I mean, like, people act like, oh, I'll just go to Canada. It's like, you realize Canada's immigration system is about as strict as our own.
Yeah.
And just because you're American, you think like your fucking name is your fucking passport to go anywhere. Like, no,
I love
you
it.
Can't.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's the same thing that when shit started going down in Mexico, it's like, oh, well, I'll just go to America if shit starts going this bad. You think Canada's up there just being like, oh, can't wait for all these Americans to get here?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big party finally. We've been waiting for the Americans to come up and show us how to have a good team.
Yeah, I was talking to an English dude at PAX last year, and his English brother was married to a Canadian woman, and just getting his temporary citizenship or whatever after being married to this woman was like a 2-year process. Like it was a giant pain in the ass. Canada's hard to go to.
They're always poking around the corner, looking in your personal life, making sure you're still married.
So are you still married?
Yeah, Canadians. They don't like us probably now.
Yeah.
And they have every right.
That's their right.
We're trying
as a Canadian.
We're trying to come over their wall.
It's the Canadian dream.
Yeah.
Racehorse turns into seahorse. Swims 2 kilometers out to sea.
That's just, I love when there's stories where like a headline writer just gets to,
Yeah.
been
Here
waiting for
we
this
go.
one. Once a week I get a real zinger in there.
I mean, and most news headlines aren't written by the author of the article itself. It's usually like the editor-in-chief or someone. So like, that's just gotta be one of the main joys of an otherwise thankless job.
Ruining an actual journalist's integrity by making a joke out of a headline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh man, I'm really worried about this horse that went swimming 2 miles off the
It's
coast.
just gotta suck though, like, you publish an article and then like you wake up in the middle of the night the next day being like, fuck! Racehorse turns into seahorse, shit! I could have used a great headline.
Yeah.
It didn't come to me fast enough.
Did the horse survive?
Yeah.
They caught it?
Horses swim real great. It got spooked
How
on
do
the
they,
beach.
was it just hooves?
Yeah. Do you know, like...
They must be buoyant.
Yeah, they are. I think like moose can travel like 2 miles offshore or something. They're like...
Well, they have built-in sails. Pushes them.
I don't know if that's how it works.
I think that's how it works. Plus, they're like 20 feet tall, so they just touch the bottom and walk across.
Yeah. Bottom of the ocean.
They just use their big sails. Police seek bald suspect in serial Rogaine thefts.
It is expensive. Not that I've ever purchased it myself.
Or that you would admit.
No.
I still want to see if it works.
I've considered purchasing it, but it's fucking expensive.
I want to put it on my face and see if it grows facial hair.
I've heard that it can.
That'd be cool.
Like I know like when it first came out in like the 90s, like they hadn't perfected the recipe yet, so like a lot of people were putting it in before bed and then turning over in the middle of the night and like getting like weird hair growths on their cheeks.
Yeah, it's like the Simpsons episode where Bart does it.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
But yeah, there's this guy, he just goes around. He's apparently stolen $1,000 worth of Rogaine.
That's like 3 boxes.
So he's like, going bald fast, gotta come up with an option, tight on money. I'm just gonna go steal all the Rogaine in the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a stockpile for me to grow my luscious locks back. And by the time I have my hair back, like, they'll be unable to find the criminal because
They should
I
rip
look
his
like
hair
them.
out when he gets caught.
That would
Shave
be the
him bald.
punishment. Yeah.
If you get one of those creative
They
judges.
should give him a little shear.
Yeah.
You think stealing trucks is fun? Well, you're gonna spend the next 90 days in a truck. Ding.
Yeah. Good stuff. Village in England mourns goose killed in drive-by shooting.
Oh.
And they love those animals there.
This was like the town goose. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why.
They love it. They got that duck that wears the bow tie.
Yeah, I hope I think he's doing okay.
I think he's okay. He got that like emergency surgery or whatever.
Yeah,
We're in a town in England with a bunch of geese and swans.
terrifying.
They are.
They run
scary.
that shit.
Yeah, they run that town.
Like a
So
biker
when-
gang, like flying in
when,
there.
when one dies, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that there's people doing drive-by shootings in England. Didn't
Slingshot.
think they did that.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a geese.
Just drive-by throwing fucking cans of... Do they even have cans? I don't know.
They have cans.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can get Carlsberg in a can.
Yeah, probably throwing cans of Carlsberg.
Oi!
Probably.
Oi, geese!
You just don't make your town mascot an animal that can be killed
Very
extremely easily.
Whatever. We got Chuck the Condor. Kill him.
Terrible mascot. Blind man acquitted in fatal shooting gets his guns back.
The video for this is the best part.
He just, by all accounts, looks like someone you don't want holding guns.
In general,
But it is his right.
and he is blind.
No, the blind part, not just his physical appearance.
Yeah.
The fact that he's blind and uses a stick to walk around.
Well, he does a good job of situational awareness because whenever they ask him a question, he like knows exactly where the microphone
yeah,
is.
it's called just using your fucking ears.
Nah, well, I don't know. I'm not blind. I don't
And he's
know how
got that
it is.
super hearing that the blind people get. So maybe he can see really well like Daredevil.
Yeah?
Yeah, he goes like, and he gets a whole like read of the room.
What?
It's like sonar.
Okay.
Do little clicking sounds and then you can like map out the room with your hearing.
Because the sound bounces off the walls?
Yeah, it's like human sonar. So he does a couple of
He's
those.
just walking around snapping his fingers.
Got him.
Can someone put a clicker down there on the target so I know where I'm shooting?
Yeah.
Would you go into a shooting range with this blind guy?
Absolutely not.
No?
No.
Yeah.
hope there's no blind people listening to this.
Listening to this?
How would they find it?
I'm pretty sure they have Braille keyboards.
What?
Yeah.
No.
They do have Braille keyboards.
No.
They do. Maddie, look. Google if Braille keyboards
No, that's
exist.
not possible. Yeah, but you can't read that. So it's in Spanish. So
Hello, amigo.
Also, not a lot of people are like fully blind, like black.
I get
vision.
that, but this guy was fully blind.
Yeah, he even wore the glasses. But what I'm saying is people can listen. Like, they're listening right now.
If you're listening and you're blind, let us know.
We should do a show just for blind people.
Also, let us know
No
if you-
B-roll.
If you're blind and you're listening, do you have a gun? And what do you think of this other blind guy? What do you think of this other blind guy with his gun? And you know,
What are you? If you take away his gun, are you ableist? Is that what it is?
yeah. And
Just because I'm blind.
if
doesn't
there's
mean...
typos in your response, we understand.
It doesn't make them worse typers because they're
They don't know
blind.
where the keys are. They're just plucking around.
Got braille on it. Also, I can type with my eyes closed because I've trained myself on a computer.
Yeah, because you could see the keys
No,
to learn.
that's not
They
why.
can't. They never know what the keyboard looked like. How would they know where anything
What
is?
is going on? You're being willfully ignorant.
Life with ISIS is really hard. Discovers Swedish teen who joined jihadists.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening.
And this was like a white chick, a Swedish white chick.
Yeah.
She's like,
You know what?
My boyfriend was like, I mean, he was like really into this ISIS thing. I never really paid attention to it that much.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, I'm really into ISIS. I'm like, oh, cool. And he's like, we should go to Iraq to be with ISIS. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Let's go. And then, you know, it wasn't that cool when we got there.
What happened to her? Did they take her hostage?
They probably raped the shit out of her. It's fucking
my
ISIS. It's ISIS. This happens to all the dumb women that go over to join ISIS.
Whoa!
If you're a woman and you join
I'm
ISIS,
not
you're a
getting-
fucking idiot.
I'm getting out of here. Former Mexican president says, I'm not gonna pay for that fucking wall.
And it's Vicente Fox, who has my favorite Mexican accent of any person ever.
Wait, he said that he spoke at your graduation.
Yeah, he was my commencement speaker, and he has a thick accent. I don't know what he was saying half the time. It was like a guilt trip about how like it's a lot harder for people to graduate from college in Mexico. It's like only 22% of Mexicans graduate from college. You are very lucky. That's what his voice sounds like. That. We're not going to pay for that fucking wall.
I mean, I can't say you're wrong because he did speak at your commencement.
His voice is very gravelly and very Mexican. I love it. We're not going to pay for that fucking wall.
Is there audio of him saying it?
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah, there is.
Does he sound like that?
Yeah.
Are you proud that blind people can hear that too?
Yeah. They get to experience the joy of Vicente Fox's lovely voice. You all right?
I can't handle this. Dog hit by 13 trains miraculously survives. How? Did it 13? Did it just not move and then 13 trains proceeded to go down the same
Yeah,
line?
it lost like a leg and then it was just like on the tracks and then just got repeatedly run over by 13 trains, but he's fine.
Oh, is he on
Don't
the-
worry about him.
Is he on the Today Show yet?
Probably.
Did someone adopt him?
Sure, Ellen's gonna give him lifetime supply of Vans or some bullshit. Come on, dance with me, three-legged injured dog. Ellen.
You're dressed like Ellen today with your white shirt and your white shoes.
Yeah.
You look like. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Police hunt unicorn for 3 hours.
Yeah, this was in California too.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think they'd be smarter than this.
I mean, it's
They
not a
knew
real
what-
unicorn, it's a horse.
They knew what they were hunting.
But it is hilarious that it took 3 hours and they had a fucking helicopter spotlight. Like, I want to see that footage. Just
Well,
like,
I want to hear the
unicorn
9/11 call.
The 9/11 call.
It's just easier to say.
Release the audio. Why haven't they released the 9/11 audio for this unicorn?
I want to hear the 911 tapes because I want to hear someone. I think there's a horse on the loose, although I might be mistaken. My eyes could be deceiving me, but I believe we're dealing with some kind of unicorn.
Some kind of mythical horse-like creature.
It looks like a
Seems-
horse, and it gallops like a horse, but
Yeah.
has a giant thing coming out of its head.
A lot of pink bows and ribbons. Perhaps a balloon. And for our final headline
know.
of the week. Wisconsin man fires bowling balls from cannon. Neighbor's horse found dead.
Yeah, that'll happen. That's what they pretty much used.
Yeah, it was on the 4th of July last year. His friend, his drinking buddy, was like, "Hey, I got this vintage cannonball shooter thing from the Revolutionary War or whatever. Let's fill it with bowling balls.
Let's not take it to a museum.
Yeah, let's just shoot it out into the field." And these bowling balls went like a mile away. It landed on the next house's barn. And
They could have killed someone.
Well, they killed a horse.
Yeah, but they could have killed someone, a person.
Yeah, that horse could have grown up to be a unicorn. Now it'll never. Get a
Yeah,
chance.
no, it'll never know what its life was like.
But yeah, that's just
Did
you
this
know.
happen in Manitowoc County?
Oh, I don't
Wisconsin
know.
is the new Florida. We've reported on Wisconsin every week.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the cheese.
yeah. Can we end this now?
Yeah, let's end it.
That's woo! What a wild ride of emotions that was. Watch our other content over here, and don't ever let Elliot into Eastern Europe.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't
Remember
know.
yesterday we were like, oh, we have a layover in Moscow. You were instantly like, eh. The Kremlin's gonna come after you.
It's because, like,
The Kremlin is gonna come after you.
the gremlins?
There's
There's gremlins there? I don't like that.
They love ballet.
All right, get out of here.